Hey y'all, it's Jennelle.
And this is Ashley. Welcome to Loving in Reality.
On this podcast, we review the TV shows that are focused on the big L word.
That's right. Love, dating, marriage, and all the drama in between.
All right, y'all. So grab your favorite drink.
And let's get into this reality tea. Hey y'all, it's Ashley and Jennelle. We're back again for a little more reality tea to discuss Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 15.
These people are exhausting, honestly. It just seems like very long, like we always say. And I think it could be because there's so much trauma. Like there's so much past trauma with all the couples.
Yeah. I think that may be contributing that, and kind of like what we said a few weeks ago, each couple kind of just has the same issue that keeps coming up each and every single week.
Yeah, I think watching this episode, because they're talking about like the families and going back home, I'm trying to remember if there was another season where it was like so much childhood trauma. Like I know
the last one.
Well, that was just Michaela. But like, who else was dealing with like, a lot of childhood trauma? Gil was just a liar.
Gil's dad was shot in front of him.
I'm saying still dealing with that trauma. Everybody has. Yeah, I'm saying not that they,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying like they didn't have any trauma. I'm just saying like these people, like besides Michaela, was obviously still dealing with the death of her father, and it was extensive. Like she needed a lot of healing from that. It just seems like there's so. I don't suggest that anybody be in a relationship when they need that much healing. You definitely need to focus on yourself. And I feel like that's just like a common thing with all the couples. I feel like except for Jasmina and Michael, like they have childhood trauma, but I don't feel like it affects their relationship to that extent as like Mark and Lindsay, like Noy. Like it's just like, oh my God, why would they think these people should be matched?
I don't know. I actually kind of think, I guess we can start with that. I kind of think Jasmina and Michael's trauma affects them a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they're both, especially Jasmina, can be a little closed off.
Yeah.
And I think it could be because of what she went through growing up. Michael too, actually.
I feel like I feel like it's with them, they had things that happened to in their past, and everybody's past affects them in one way or another. So I feel like the things that they're going through, being slow to open up and stuff like that, that's just like normal stuff, that normally happens. I know like Michael lost his mom and his brother and all that. And Jasmine was dealing with, and honestly, for Jasmine to have been dealt with so much abandonment. Yeah. I would think that if she wasn't healed as much from that, she would definitely be having different behaviors. Anxious like attachment style or something like that because of the abandonment. But I feel like some of these couples is like a recipe for disaster, particularly Mark and Lindsay. I just feel like Mark and Lindsay are a recipe for disaster. Not that, and I'm starting to think it's not even that either one of them are just bad people. I don't really feel like they're healthy for each other.
Oh no, they're definitely not healthy for each other.
And I don't think it's a blame thing anymore. Like it's not a Lindsay thing or a Mark thing, but looking into their past, it's like they are a reflection of their trauma to me. Like Lindsay is like a reflection of the trauma that Mark saw growing up. And Mark is in turn a reflection of the trauma that Lindsay felt growing up, feeling like she was too much and feeling like, she's too this and too that and blah, blah, blah. And then Mark sees Lindsay from his past about how his mother was so critical and always talking negative and always talking down and always dig. I'm like, this is like horrible.
Yeah, I do think you mentioned attachment styles. Lindsay definitely has more of an anxious one to me. And then Mark has an avoidant one, and those two attachment styles do not work. I mean, I don't see how they can work.
If you have an unhealthy attachment style, two unhealthy attachment styles are not going to work. If somebody has an insecure type attachment style or avoidant type attachment style, the only way the other person would be okay is if they have a secure attachment style, because if they had a secure one, the other person's attachment style wouldn't affect them in that much. But that rarely happens because everybody has things that they've dealt with in the past that shape who they are. But I just kept thinking how Mark and Lindsay is just a disaster.
Yeah. But I think their attachment styles are so opposite. That's what makes things so volatile between the two of them.
I feel like their traumas are just reflect, like, you know, they're just like, his trauma is her and her trauma is him.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm trying to figure out why they were matched, honestly.
I don't really see how is Mark her trauma? Because she grew up with someone who was what would her mom do again? She was verbally abusive, or
I'm saying in the way that Mark feels like she's too much. Like she talked about how she's always felt that she was too much, and she's always felt like she didn't belong, and she's always just wanted to feel accepted for who she is. So that part of her
now, Lindsay is.
Lindsay is a lot, but I just don't. I feel like, you know, she can be a lot, but she has to be with the right person, and Mark is just not that person.
It's going to take a very special, unique, one of a kind person to put up with Lindsay. Because I would have to say the majority of people would not be able to put up with Lindsay.
I would agree. And I feel like that's not a married at first sight type of person, honestly.
It's really not.
Like, she's not a married at first type of person. But it's just him saying certain things that bother him about her, triggers her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like he doesn't like it. And that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. And that should really be okay. Like, I feel like the experts are trying to push them on each other, but I don't understand why. Like, he doesn't like the constant emotional roller coaster that she be on. He doesn't like the constant, you know, pulling and touching when she's talking. And those are things where she's just not going to change at this point.
No, that's her personality.
So I don't know. I was just like, oh my God, I can't even. And I feel like they had the most awkward going back to the childhood scenes.
Oh, when they were in the woods for Lindsay and then Mark's childhood home.
Yeah, it was very, I don't want to say cold, but it wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't like the other couples where they were like consoling each other and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Poor Mark has gone through so much this season.
I know, this kitty cat. Oh,
JC kind of creeped me out a little bit with his eye, poor thing. Poor Mark, he done lost his home. He done lost this mother figure in his life.
Right.
He has to deal with Lindsay every day. He done lost his cat.
It's like he has so many things going on that's like emotional, and it seems like he just wants peace and quiet at his house, like when he gets home. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I guess this is a offensive way to say it, but she's hyper. I don't know why that's offensive. I was like,
she's high energy.
I feel like she would probably find that offensive too. I don't know. When Dr. Pepper said that calling her hyper was offensive or something, I was like, is it?
But I guess it's not necessarily like the best thing or the most, I don't know, but she is high energy. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Who knows? But yeah, their personalities don't really seem to mesh. Their conflict styles don't mesh. Their communication styles don't mesh. It's just too much mismatch going on.
And I don't like how the experts make it seem like it's the other person's responsibility to heal the other person from the trauma too. Mm-hmm. That's what it seems like to me, especially when Pastor Cal was talking to Mark. He was putting some of the responsibility on Mark to me, and I don't feel like that's right, because your healing is your own responsibility, and your partner should just be there as a support.
Right. I can be patient with you and supportive while you're working through that.
Yeah. So I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to say it just seems like they want him to adjust a lot.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, well, she has this going on in her past, and she had this happen in her past. And then he talked about his dad, and Pastor Cal essentially like, yeah, that's what you got to be. You got to be like your dad. That's what I got from that conversation a couple of weeks ago.
I think they're just trying to boost their numbers. They need couples to say yes on decision day.
Yeah, I definitely don't think some of these couples should be matched because I feel like these people just need to heal from their trauma first. Mm-hmm. It's just so much. I'm still thinking about all these different seasons, even the seasons with Brandon and whatever that Taylor. I'm like, that was a crazy season, but I don't remember it being so much childhood trauma.
No, I don't think they had a lot going on in their past. And if they did, they didn't
talk about it like this. Yeah. I was like, God, these people all need help. Not like saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying they need to heal.
Yeah, I agree. Lindsay and Mark, they shouldn't be together.
No.
I mean, they both seem like they really want to try and keep working at it, though.
I wonder why. That would be my question. Like, why do you guys want to try and keep working at it?
They just really want this.
Because they want a marriage?
Yeah. Mark really wanted this. Remember he tried out before for the show? That was him, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's more than just wanting a marriage. It's wanting a healthy marriage. I don't want to just be married. I want to be married in a healthy relationship.
Do you hear that, people? Healthy relationships are what matter. I feel like we all kind of rush to do that.
Yeah.
Or we idolize marriage and being in a relationship, not realizing that the goal really should be a healthy, happy relationship.
Yeah,
not
that's
just
what
being
you
in
want.
one to be in one.
I don't want to be a wife just to say I'm a wife and then go home and be miserable and lonely or whatever else.
Yeah.
I want to be in a healthy relationship where I'm happy and I can thrive. No.
Yeah, no, I don't really have much hope for those two.
I would hope that they say no for their own goods, honestly. Like, I need them both to find peace, and I just don't think that they'll find it together. Mm. And it sounds bad. Like, it sounds like it's a bad thing, but it's actually not. Because having that, like, courage and insight to know, like, this is not good for me personally, and I can find what's good for me, that's fine. That's okay. It's okay to walk away sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know Mark, I wonder if he'll view it as a failure because he wanted this so badly.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people do. That's why a lot of people stay together. That's why people don't get divorced. They feel as if they failed at something. And you can kind of just change that perspective around that you had the insight, the bravery, the knowledge, the self-awareness to walk away to be happy. Mm-hmm. That seems like a success to me.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully he gets it. He does get the courage to say no on Decision Day. One of them needs to say no. It don't have to be both of them, but one of them needs to say no.
I feel like if Lindsay gets rejected, though, that's just going to add to this already deep trauma of rejection. It's just bad either way. I actually feel bad for Lindsay now. I feel bad for the both of them.
Yeah, Mark. I hope he's not sitting over there like scared to say no because of how Lindsay may react.
Yeah.
That's not cool either. That was Mark and Lindsay. Sad and tragic.
Oh, what do you feel about Dr. Pepper suggesting that Noy and Steve can have a marriage and not live together?
I don't know. So one of my friends from medical school, so her parents were like that. They lived in California, and then one of the other parents, I don't remember which one, lived literally on the opposite side of the country, West Coast, East Coast, and they're still together. I mean, I think
was it a temporary thing or a permanent thing?
I think it was temporary, but it wasn't like for 3 months. It was longer than that.
See, I feel like I can understand it being a temporary thing out of obligation. Like, both of us grew up in military families. I saw it all the time where that happened. So I can understand when it's a temporary thing, but not I'm getting married and making the choice to purposely live apart from day one. I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, I don't really get that either. I don't know. I mean, because there are definitely moments where, I mean, when I was long distance, it was nice. And we moved in and it was hell. So,
yeah.
I can see some perks. I do think it'd be very difficult raising children that way.
I feel like at that point you would be like co-parenting with benefits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm with you though. I think temporarily, yes. If that were just the end goal, or like if that were just us living together, I don't think it would work for me. But if it were, say, like for a year because of work, then I could understand that.
I've seen a lot of different social media posts where people do that, like where they have houses next to each other. And I'm not talking sister wives. I'm talking about the wife in one house and the husband in another house.
That doesn't seem like a waste of money.
It does.
Right next to each other.
I mean, I knew a kid a kid. I knew a person in college who said that his parents left in separate bedrooms in the same house, though.
Oh,
so
wow. So, see, I don't know about that. Like, if we're going to be separate, then we need to be separate, not separate within the same home.
Wait, why? Wait,
that
why
seems strange to me.
It's
that
like they were together
strange.
and they just didn't sleep in the same bed.
I don't know. That seems strange to me. Like, we're not roommates.
That seems less strange than my husband lives in a different house. I don't know. It's the house.
Oh, no, that also seems strange. Like, I just feel like if we're going to be that close, then we need to just, I don't know, be a traditional married couple. To me, that part doesn't make sense. Like, you could just have a separate room downstairs or something, like a den if you need away time or alone time.
Yeah.
Not a whole house with a mortgage.
I guess they have their own bills. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
It's like forever dating. We're forever dating.
No, I feel like it's different if you work in one state and then they work in the other, and it's only for like a year.
Yeah, or whatever. We're just trying to do this because we got to do this for the betterment of my career or whatever else. But I'm just doing this just because.
Yeah.
Like, why is Noy trying to hold on to that little tiny apartment?
That little room. You think she'd be trying to get out of there?
Or maybe it's giving like Charlotte from Sex and the City vibes when she first got married and then she still had she used to go to Carrie's apartment. Like Carrie kept her apartment and then Charlotte used to go there. Didn't that happen?
Oh, no, I remember that.
I can't remember.
I remember that.
I'm pretty sure that happened. Somebody did it. I could see maybe that's what Noy would want to do. I don't know. But it seems like Noy just wants to live in a whole separate house than Steve. And it was kind of awkward for him.
I just think Noy is not as ready for this as she thought she was. I
don't think so at all.
Marriage was just going to be a fairy tale that didn't come with problems and difficult conversations and having to adjust and consider someone else.
Yeah,
she was like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe I don't want this.
Which is, I'm so confused by Noy. In some ways, the things that she's been through doesn't match how she behaves to me. I guess there's no set way for behaviors, but it just confuses me sometimes with like her being so inconsiderate, but yet understanding the sacrifices that her parents made for her to be where she is. Most of the time, those people would be just like more grateful, more considerate, kind-hearted people because they see all the sacrifices that were made for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I get so confused with her.
She is a little confusing. She also made a comment that made me laugh, where she said the way she grew up forced her to grow up quickly. I was like, huh?
Yeah, that's another thing that's confusing.
Most immature people I have ever seen on television, on a reality show.
I was like, grow up quickly in which way? I feel like the way that her parents raised her definitely didn't teach her any type of emotional regulation that as we can tell. But other than that, I'm trying to figure out, like, in what way did she have to grow up quickly?
I didn't get it either because she acts so childish. Now, I wonder if then I thought, well, maybe she grew up so quickly that she didn't really have much of a childhood. And that's why she acts like a child now. I don't know.
Like she reverted back?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just confused.
That doesn't make sense to me.
The same thing with her wanting 3 kids, but yet being concerned about how her parents struggled with having 3 kids.
Because it ain't cheap, no way.
And when Steve brings up the concern with money and kids, she blows it off. But obviously she understands the concept because at a young age, she felt as if her siblings might have been a burden because there was 3 of them. So I'm like, no, I'm so confused.
It's very confusing. I think she's confused and she probably needs to be by herself for a little bit too. Now that she realizes what marriage really is, she needs to go sit and think about it.
Yeah, I definitely think she does need to think about it. She needs to learn some type of emotional, regulation, like being able to not control her emotions, but express them. I mean, I understand that's a struggle for her because she wasn't allowed to do it in her childhood. But especially she's saying she wants to have kids and things like that. Those are things that you have to like heal from, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to teach your kids this stuff properly.
You're just going to pass it along to them.
It's just going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't even understand.
And I don't, Steve should not have to deal with that. Like, he shouldn't be responsible for raising Noe and whatever children they decide to have.
And that's what I'm saying. It seems like in this season, they're putting the responsibility of the healing of the other person on the other person. If that like putting the responsibility of Noe's healing, like it's Steve's responsibility as well. It's not also Steve's responsibility. Steve is there as a support. It is Noe's responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm just like, I don't understand. And I feel like Steve is going to have to sacrifice a lot of things that he wanted. And, I mean, just like, I don't know if he was talking to Dr. Pepper or he was talking to Mark when he was like, yeah, everybody keeps talking about what Noe wants and what Noe envisioned for her marriage and how Noe wanted to have a 2-person household making money and how Noe wanted this. And she's like, nobody is considering what I envisioned for my marriage. Like what kind of marriage I wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been all about Noe.
So, yeah, that's weird. He's like, I'm here too. I'm a person too. I have a say in this too, don't I?
Yeah. I mean, if I were Steve, I would say no. I think I said that last week, but
yeah, I feel like he will say no because especially during that conversation with Dr. Pepper, when they were talking about living in separate households and Noe's like, we'll just have to figure out what that looks like and blah, blah, blah. And Steve is like silent the whole time. Like, I never even agreed to us doing that.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I'm sure that works for some people, but if it's not what you want, it's not going to work for you. It just doesn't work for you. I'm not going to say that it's wrong. I guess there's no right way to do this thing, but
but like you said, it's about what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
If that works for Noe, then that's fine. But if it doesn't work for Steve, then that should also be fine.
Yeah.
And then that's something that they have to decide if one person wants to compromise or not. I feel like when they talk about compromises in marriage, there's just certain things that you won't be able to compromise because they compromise your values.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a thing that you have to consider before even getting married to someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like,
think if they stay together, they're just Steve, I feel like will be miserable. Like, I think he'll be okay early on, but down the road, that's going to get tiring.
Yeah, I feel like he's just realizing that he's not going to get, a lot of what he wanted out of a relationship. And I'm trying to see, like, aside from the companionship, what is Noe?
What the benefit would be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are the types of benefits that like are more important. Like a lot of times people act like, what can you bring to the table as far as like monetary values and things like that? But it's like, no, like in what ways can you help me with supporting my goals? What ways can you, meet my needs as far as love, support, praise, whatever? Mm-hmm. Like that's the kind of stuff that you need to be thinking about when you're trying to build a life with somebody.
Yeah. I just feel like for him, it just seems like the pros of Noe do not outweigh the cons.
I mean, this whole time, I feel like the last 2 episodes, he's just been asking her to consider his feelings. Like, can you please consider my feelings? When you're doing things, can you consider my feelings?
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to do it. Because I know I was in a relationship where I felt like I wasn't being considered.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable. It's not.
I mean, he's being very patient, though. I think he's just trying to see the process out. He doesn't seem like a high-tempered person anyway. Like he would have, angry outbursts or whatever. But
no, he seems like just such a very well-rounded, as we could see from this episode, and well-adjusted individual.
But then we can also see the type of upbringing he had, where he was allowed to be expressive. He was allowed to come into his own as a person. He had a very healthy childhood.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And it wasn't like he had a lot of money growing up either, because he shared a bedroom with his 2 other brothers, like 3 of them in one bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like Steve's family had a lot of money growing up, but yet he doesn't focus on that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe he's done some healing of his own to where it's at the point where it doesn't bother him, where we see his trauma like right there in our faces.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm sure he seems like he grew up with everything that he needed. Right. And maybe every now and then got things that he wanted, but no, it doesn't seem like he was spoiled growing up or anything.
I feel like Noe makes it seem like he was for some reason.
Mm-hmm. He was so funny this episode to me with his earrings and the way he was dressed and the dancing and the rapping. I was like, who is this man?
I was like, oh, it's kind of cringy.
Cringy. And the mom was sitting there just bouncing along too.
Right. I mean, he had supportive parents. I'm sure, like, you know what I'm saying? He had the things, like you said, the things he needed.
Yeah. He got a little swag to him.
I don't know what that dance class was. First of all, that girl was going way too fast. I was like, what in the world? She's like, we're going to get started. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was like, oh, hell no.
Steve was keeping up though, and he was serious. His face was so serious. He was focused.
I would have been like, yeah, I'm about to sit down because, girl, what is you doing?
Oh my God. And then they were practicing at the apartment. I was like, y'all were not playing around about this dance class.
Right before Dr. Pepper came in, I was like, not them practicing the dance.
I know. Oh man, I think Steve is a good catch. And Noi doesn't deserve him right now. I don't.
I feel like Noi needs to heal. She shouldn't be with anyone. She needs to heal. Learn to express yourself. Because this is going to, I mean, if she doesn't stay with Steve, it's going to be an issue in her next relationship. You can't be in a relationship where you can't express how you feel.
Yeah.
You can't
make things all about you either and what you want. Mm-hmm. I think she's going to say yes, though, no matter.
Especially if she thinks they're going to stay in separate houses. I feel like she was excited when Dr. Pepper said that. Like, she started talking about it and smiling and everything. I was like, oh my God.
Noi's crazy. Get me up out this little room, please. Please.
Like, I understand that you worked hard for it. I understand, but I don't understand.
No, I don't.
I've never been that attached to an apartment. Like, does she own it?
So I've been attached to an apartment. Like, my first place where I lived by myself, I paid for it all on my own, but it was not a room. Like,
I don't know. I was not attached. Like, when being in the military, when I was at my first duty station, I was not attached to that place at all. I don't know. I didn't really care anything about it. It was just somewhere to live.
I don't know if I would have sacrificed a relationship for it.
Buying my first house, that's something I'm like, I was attached to my house. I was sad to see it go. I still think about my house sometimes. This house can't compare to that house. But moving from that apartment to another apartment is a step up in her life. Now she's married. She's moving on to better things. What would I look like staying in that house, which was not in a good school district, instead of moving to a better school district for my kid and be like, I just can't let go of this house. This is the first house that I bought and I can't let go of this house. It means too much to me. Like, what?
And to me, that's how I think we know Noi is not ready. Because the things that she's holding on to, like this Instagram and this room, she's willing to sacrifice her relationship for those things. I just don't think she's ready. Her mindset isn't there yet. And that's okay if you're not ready, but don't drag Steve along.
Yeah. I mean, she accounts it to independence, which I understand. She's saying that she didn't have independence growing up. So she's trying to hold on to her independence. But she needs to rethink her idea of independence, because you can still have your independence and be in a relationship. Y'all are still should still be individuals in your relationship. You should not lose yourself, who you are as an individual in your relationship. Being in a relationship does not mean that Steve is now or should now dictate everything about your life. So you shouldn't have this fear of losing your independence in the relationship.
Yeah.
So that's another, I don't know if that's a discussion for just like her to think about or something for them to talk together, because if she has a fear of losing her independence, that's something that definitely needs to be addressed. Or she's going to keep acting out, kind of like how a kid does, like a teenager, like they're wanting to get this independence now. So they do rebellious things and they defy their parents because they're trying to exert themselves as, I know about my life and I can make decisions in my life and blah, blah, blah. I'm about to be an adult. I can make these decisions. At this point in her life, Noi shouldn't still be trying to do those things.
Yeah. She ties independence to like social media and posting.
It seems like she ties it into being able to do what she wants and not listening to other people, kind of like a teenager would.
Yeah.
I I'm going to do the opposite just because you said don't do that, so I'm going to do it. Because I can't.
She needs more time to grow up.
Yeah.
She's not ready.
But I feel like if she doesn't get a marriage out of it, I feel like she definitely got some insight into herself. And hopefully she will continue that self-exploration where she can heal. So.
Yeah, it only took 7 weeks, too.
I guess. Let's see. Jasmina and Michael. Man, Jasmina, what is it? Why don't you want to give this man a kiss?
She's not attracted to him. She's not attracted to this man.
Why does she look at him like that? I know you see the way she be looking at him.
I think she's looking at him like searching for the feeling.
That don't look like looking at searching. What? That don't look like, that's not the look. She be giving him the look.
For the tingling feeling.
She be giving him the look, though. She do be giving him the look.
No.
You saying she doesn't?
I just don't think she's physically attracted to him, so it's just not gonna happen for them. They have had way too many moments. Way too many. This week being another one.
Yeah. That's why I was so confused. Sometimes I think to myself like, oh, they must have kissed off camera or something. And then here goes Jasmina. I'm just not feeling it. Oh, Lord Jesus.
And all the saying all up in his face, too. He's sitting right there.
But at least he has a good attitude about it. I thought he was going to be upset about it with this episode. But when he did his little, one-on-one, he was like, there's nothing I can do but be me. And I'm like, okay.
Michael. Poor Michael. He really is being very patient and very respectful.
I'm just curious because he did tell his sister if there's no progress in that area by decision day, then he's going to say no.
I don't think he will. Because I feel like each week he's falling deeper and deeper for Jasmina.
It just seems like they both are, though. I don't understand Jasmina. I mean, I know you're saying she's not attracted to him. Maybe she's not physically attracted to him. But
yeah,
I feel
physically. I don't think she's physically attracted to him.
But there are certain other things that I feel attraction with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that in other ways. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm confused.
I just feel like she views him as a very good friend right now. Like a really good friend.
How are you gonna friend zone your husband? She can be
vulnerable with and share things with and not have that pressure of sleeping with them.
Oh, poor Michael.
Yeah.
You think he'll say yes even if they don't do anything?
Do I think he will?
Yeah.
I think he will.
Kind of like a Miles and Karen situation. And Miles waited way longer.
Oh, he waited 4 months, poor thing. Who knows when they actually had sex? It could have been longer than that. It could have been like 6 months.
I mean, but they're still married, so.
They are still married. So I think if Jasmina is willing to, maybe she needs to talk to Karen.
Maybe she has. I've seen like some of the black ones. That sounded bad. Some of the, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to say it.
The black couples?
The black couples. Oh, okay. Have like linked up and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
I saw one Instagram post where it was Brianna, Karen, and Amani.
Yeah. I think talking to Karen would be helpful and maybe even talking to Jamie because she wasn't attracted to her husband either. In person, years later, 2 kids, they're still together.
I feel like it's harder for the partner. Like if I knew my partner wasn't attracted to me, I feel like that would be hard for me to get over.
Yeah.
So I feel like Michael needs to talk to somebody too. Maybe he should talk to Miles.
Because he is hanging on in there. I really do think those two, and I remember saying this in the beginning, those two could be a really good couple. And I was worried that Jasmina would not be physically attracted to him. Yeah, but I think they could be such a good couple. They're actually really cute.
Exactly. They just vibe so well. It's just like, at first I used to hate seeing him on the screen. I was like, oh my God, here we go.
Yeah, she was annoying.
Michael. Right. Yeah. But now it's just like, oh, look, it's Jasmine and Michael. Oh my God, look how cute. But then she comes around with this, I'm just not feeling it. And I'm like, oh.
I don't know. Maybe she should just kiss him. I mean, I remember I was involved with someone I was not initially attracted to. And I think after how many months? I mean, it was more than 2 months.
Oh, Lord, months. Michael, she said months, Michael.
It took a while before I was like, okay. And then we like couldn't keep our hands off of each other.
I guess there you go. But
yeah,
so did you become physically attracted, or was there other things about the person that made your attraction grow?
There were other things about the person that made the attraction grow. And then it just made me look at them differently. And I was like, ooh, okay.
Oh, so then you became physically attracted to them.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I got the feeling.
Oh, you got the feeling.
Oh. Yeah, that Jasmina is looking and waiting for. And I think you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
If not, I'll tell you. Okay.
I think I do. Yes.
The public, you all can't know. We have to respect the privacy of others. But
I was just thinking, like, I just don't have a type. I think that's what the problem is. Like,
yeah,
I could literally be attracted to like any, like what someone looks like is just, I don't know. I'm attracted to how they treat me. That's like the most attractive thing to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I think if we could get Jasmina past this physical, or maybe she has a type too. So maybe if we could get her past that, then she will say yes on decision day. But we only have 6 days. So I don't know.
Well, you know what? I say I don't have a type. I don't have a type, but then, I do have like someone that I would consider like, oh no. So at the same time, I guess I could understand like if it was somebody that I really just was like, heck no. So yeah.
You know what you wouldn't date. There's a type you wouldn't date.
Right. Yeah. But there's not a box. I don't have like a box of only this, but I have a box of, oh, hell no. So there we go.
I am rooting for those two. I am rooting for them.
Yeah, I hope they make it through.
Also, Jasmina, where did you get that lavender top, ma'am? Because that top was cute.
I think I saw that on Shein. I'm going to be honest. I saw that. I was like, did I see that on Shein? I'm pretty sure I did.
On her.
Mm-hmm. But
to me, they're the only two. They're the only ones that have a true chance of having a healthy, long-lasting relationship.
Oh yeah, because you don't like Katina and Elijah one together.
No, I don't like the dynamic of their relationship.
Yeah, honestly, I don't understand the dynamic of their relationship because
it's like he's the dad and she's the daughter. I don't like it. Or she's the servant and he's the master.
Because the way that it appears and the way that they talk about it is not the same. And that's what makes me confused. I'm like, I don't even understand what's happening here, to be honest. I don't get it. And I don't get why Elijah one started crying either.
He was like really crying.
I was like, I feel like there's something that happened in between that they didn't show us from us to get from that conversation to him. Eyes being red as hell, crying. Like, what is going on? What did she say?
I didn't like when they met with Dr. Pepper and he was saying what his concerns were about having kids in the timeline. And she essentially just said what he said. I was like, Katina, do you not have a thought of your own? He was like, I don't want her to be overwhelmed. And she was like, yeah, kind of like what he said. I don't want to be overwhelmed. Okay.
Well, maybe she didn't think about that before because I honestly feel like Elijah one has a point. To be honest, like she's trying to go through school. She's trying to go to nursing school, and nursing school is not easy. Being a nurse is not easy. Being a doctor is not. Being in the healthcare profession is not easy.
No, it's not. But I mean, people do it though.
People do it. People, that is true. People make the choice to do it, and it's just a choice. Like it might seem, I don't know, selfish to be like, I don't want to have a stressful life with kids. That's essentially what he's saying. He's like, I don't really want to be stressed out with whatever hours that you're going to have to work in nursing school. And then also when you become a nurse and then, me having to work and then there's kids. And because to be honest, I feel like it's a real concern because it can put a strain on a marriage because I have seen it happen.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to disclose.
Yeah. But right. I think given that they're not the most stable, maybe adding all these things on top of it would not be best.
I mean, even if you are, I mean, because as example, she could be a nurse that has to work at night.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the responsibilities of taking care of the kids would be on him. And yeah, those are his kids. And it's like, well, you should want to take care of your kids. And that's fine. He probably would want to take care of his kids. But if she's a night nurse, that's like he's a parent by himself, really, because the kids are asleep at night. And sometimes you don't have choices in those situations. Yeah. So all he's saying is like, I understand that that's what you want, but I want you to understand how I feel about this and how I feel like it might affect me and eventually affect our marriage.
I could see that. Like, I don't want to choose the difficult route.
Yeah. If we don't have to.
Would be choosing difficulty.
Yeah. Especially if you're like, if you don't have a problem with pushing your timeline back, till it's at least until you know what's going on. Cause like you're in nursing school, that's you're in nursing school, but the hours, how much you're going to have to study, how hard it's going to be for you. That's going to already be a high stress environment. Why would you want to be having small children during that time? I would definitely not recommend it.
Why do they need to have children within the next 2 years? I mean, I know because he's 30.
That's all he's saying. That's what I feel like he's saying. He might be saying it in a way where it sounds selfish, but I feel like he's just trying to make sure that his concerns are being heard as well. Because just like we're saying with Steve and Noy, Elijah one has, feelings too and things that need to be considered in the relationship as well. If he's saying, I don't want to have to take on this all by myself, I don't feel like it would be fair to us to be like, oh, that's fucked up. You don't want to do it by yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I guess he doesn't want to adjust his timeline either.
Well, I think they had the same timeline at first, like 2-3 years. But he's saying, okay, when we're realistically looking at this timeline, because sometimes you can just throw a date on the wall, but you got to like look at your life and see how it aligns with that date. And if you're looking at your life and you're like, well, in 2 to 3 years, you'll be in med school. I mean, in nursing school. Do we really want to stick with this timeline?
Yeah. Well, he's telling her that she needs to say no on decision day.
And that's what I didn't get. I'm like, I don't know why he feels like she needs to say no. If she said yes, does that mean that y'all would have to have kids in 2 years? Y'all can't wait? I don't understand that. That's why I was feeling like there was something missing in there. Like, why does she need to say no? Why can't they just choose to wait to have kids?
I think because they don't want to wait.
Neither one of them want to wait? Or is Elijah one saying he wants to wait? I thought he was saying he wanted to wait.
Oh, he wants to wait.
I don't know. That's why I'm confused.
But she doesn't want to, right?
I don't know. That's what I was like, say no on decision day. Why would she need to say no on decision day? That's why I was like, what happened? I missed something. I don't know.
I was listening to something that said he wants her to say no on decision day so he doesn't have to be the bad guy.
Maybe that. I mean, I feel like Elijah one just wants, I mean, like you said, he has this daddy complex, I think, and he feels like the best decision would be for her to focus on her career and blah, blah, and yada, yada.
Yeah, because he said he ain't going nowhere. He'll wait.
Why can't they wait and be married?
Stay together. Yeah.
I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, what do people think marriage is? Like, really, what do they think that it is?
No one really knows until they like get into the situation and they're like, oh, okay.
Because I would say I wasn't in nursing school, but I was working and I was getting my master's degree and I was stressed out. I had a kid, I'm a wife, and I broke out in shingles. I'm freaking 30.
See, that's what I was trying to say. I feel like it's going to be stressful no matter what phase or stage you're in, whether you're working towards a career or established in your career.
I feel like if I was more like right now, I think if you were more established in your career, like if I had another kid right now and I'm not going to school, I'm just working, I don't think it would be as hard for me as when I was working, going to school and having a 2-year-old. I don't feel like it would be the same as if I was just working and not actually also having to go to school at the same time. Because she's working and getting her degree right now, right?
Yeah. Does she have a job?
I thought Elijah said she worked from home, so I'm assuming she has a job.
Okay.
So if I had to choose the latter, I would choose to just be working in my career and have a kid instead of trying to balance all of that. Yeah, it's just less stuff on your plate at once. Because it could be hard while you're in your career, and it could be hard while you're in school. But trying to do all that at one time is just hell no, hell to the no. But I still don't understand why he's saying she should say no, and I'll wait for you. Like, y'all can still be together. And
I don't get that part either.
Like, she doesn't have to be established to be married.
He said she needs to work on bettering herself.
I thought he meant like finishing her stuff, like finishing doing what she wanted to do.
She doesn't have her life together yet, and he needs a woman who has her life together.
Is that what he said?
Clean. Oh no, I'm just making all this up.
I mean, that could be true though. That would make more sense.
But he needs someone who can cook, clean, and has it all together, and has no loans.
The cook, clean thing. I thought he was off that.
I don't think he will ever be off of that.
He just seems like he just doesn't want to cook at all. Even at the retreat and all the dudes in the kitchen, he was just like, all right, I'm about to chill right here.
Couldn't even boil the noodles.
He doesn't want to cook at all.
Those two are interesting though. This episode, they are both so ditzy.
Yeah. And why did we go to see a church? Like some random church for Katina?
I thought it was the church Katina went to growing up.
I don't think that was the church that she went to, because she didn't say, this is the church I went to. She was like, I decided to bring you to a church.
Oh, I just thought it was the one she went to growing up. I just figured church was such a big part of her life that she was like, I wanted to bring you here and let you know how important this is to me. That was a good discussion they had about raising their kids in the church. And
I feel like that was definitely a good discussion, but I just felt like it was weird that they just like went up in some random church. Like, what? I mean, I also felt that it was weird that Mark just went up in those people's yard too, talking about his childhood home. I'd be like, boy, if you don't get off my lawn.
I hope they have.
I hope they have. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, they asked to be in these people's yard.
Elijah was funny talking about his childhood. This is why I am the way I am. Because of these brick buildings. Okay.
It's so intense.
He just always sounds like he's giving a motivational talk.
He needs to be like a coach, like somebody's coach. That's what he needs to be.
Yeah, I can see him being a coach.
I feel like he missed his calling of being a coach.
Yeah, he played football.
It seems like he really wants to mold people's minds and provide guidance. Like, go be a high school coach or something.
Yeah, he's all about the molding and breaking you down and building you up into what he wants you to be. That is what he has done to Katina. He has broken her down. Now he's molding her. You see how she sits there quietly and smiles and agrees with everything he says?
That's why I said their relationship is confusing to me, because I don't know if she's just doing that because the cameras are around or what, because then they'd be like, oh no, Katina talks. Oh no, Katina does this. Katina will go off on you in a second. I mean, and we did see that at the beginning of the season when she went off on Lindsay, like right at the honeymoon.
Yeah. And then like, what happened? What happened to that Katina?
I don't know if it's like she didn't like how she looked on camera or how she felt that she might have looked on camera or what, and she decided to like dial it back. But since the honeymoon, she hasn't done that at all. Like, hasn't spoken out.
Not since the bowling alley. Don't talk to me, girl. You already know what it is.
I mean, I don't know. And then now her and Lindsay are cool. I'm so confused.
Well, yeah, because Elijah and Lindsay are like best friends.
That's why I'm confused, because they didn't like each other. None of them like each other.
They get along real well now. She'll be like, oh, pulled me to the side and told me, y'all having one-on-one chats?
Well, I don't know. You know, he likes to insert himself when he can provide guidance. So maybe that's just... Oh, they need some guidance over there? I'm on it.
I think they're going to say yes. I still think that.
I think that too.
Yeah. And then
I don't know. I don't know. I think that, but then I don't know. I don't know what Elijah is going to say. He's so unpredictable to me.
Yeah, because last week you would have thought he would say no. Now this week I'm like, Maybe he'll say yes. I don't know. Oh, I can't wait till decision day. I know theirs is probably going to be all dramatic.
Bro, I don't want no talking. I don't want, just get straight to the point. I need you to walk in there with a sign holding up yes or no. Like, I don't want to hear no talking.
We got 2 more weeks. There's next week, and then I think the week after is decision day. Well, it will be May.
Oh, God.
This show has been on since the new year. That is such a long time.
Why is the show like months, but they've only been in the process for 6 weeks?
Right.
Come on. That don't make no sense.
We really need no more, I think, than 12 weeks. I think 12 weeks should be the max.
You're right. We can see two days each week.
Yeah.
That seems good. Because I don't need to see, Monday and Tuesday, because it's going to be the same thing. Well, that's all I got. Because, ooh.
Same. This was probably like a therapist's dream.
What?
This episode. No?
It just made me anxious. I was just feeling like I wanted to jump into the TV. Like, all of you guys don't need to be in relationships right now.
Yeah. Go work on yourselves for a little bit.
So, all right, y'all. That's all that we have for this episode.
Yep. 2 more weeks until decision day.
Oh, I can't wait. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. We love hearing what you have to say.
Yes, let us know and tune in next week.
All right, until then, bye.
Bye.